What is up, guys? This is setacctime here, and today I kind of want to do a little bit of a redo on my past tutorial, how to make ARMA 2 machinima. This is going to be a bit better. I'm going to show you more stuff that will actually help you, not just camera techniques, also stuff like slow motion and explosion scripts and all that good stuff. I'm not going to be going into in depth on like storytelling and stuff like that. I'm going to kind of leave that up to you. I'm not really going to guide you on, what should your script be like or what should, your storytelling be like. I'm just here to help you with the technical aspect of it. So first things first, you're going to need a few things. You're obviously going to need ARMA 2. I'm using the Invasion 1944 mod because it's currently installed on my ARMA 2. And I don't feel like changing it over right now. But this works with any mod variation of ARMA 2. I think it even works with the free version. So that's awesome. So yes, I'm going to be using Invasion 1944 assets. But if you're following along and doing it in regular ARMA 2, Operation Arrowhead, or just the regular game, just ignore all that and just kind of compromise with it. So you're also going to need a recording program, obviously. You're going to need some way to get that footage of the game into a state where you can edit it and watch it. There are two programs that I recommend. Both of these, I think, have like a free trial. I don't know how long they are. I know that Fraps has an infinite trial, or at least it did when I tried it. But it only allows you to record 30 seconds at a time, which is stupid. I wouldn't do that. So I'm going to name 3 off the top of my head that I can think of that are pretty good. Fraps, that's what I'm using right now. DxTory is also pretty good. And another one, although this one's a little bit questionable, if you have a NVIDIA graphics card that is a GTX 600 and above, you have access to some recording program called Shadowplay. It's currently in beta, and for Windows 7 users, it cannot record above a certain amount. So that's why I don't use it, but once that cap gets taken off, I might experiment with it more. But if you have Windows 8 and you have that sort of graphics card, you're in luck. So, to start out, oh, and one other thing, you'll need like a recording software and a microphone if you're going to be doing audio. Which in this case, I don't think we're going to be doing any dialogue, but it is necessary, obviously, if you're going to do dialogue in any of your films. Okay. So let's get started. So I'm going to choose a map. We'll just go with this one, Omaha V2. And the first thing that we are going to do is create a camera. Now please keep in mind that my knowledge is very limited in all the ARMA 2 scripting. So there may be some easier ways or methods to get to stuff like this. And please feel free to let me know. Constructive criticism is appreciated. So I noticed that my frame rate goes down whenever I zoom out, and when I zoom in, it goes back to normal. Okay, so first things first. I do recommend watching a video. There's several tutorials online, or even reading your ARMA 2 manual on how to use the editor. It is absolutely essential to know how to use the editor. Know what all of these means, like the modules, the markers, the synchronization. Although we're not going to be messing with synchronize or modules, but we will be messing with markers, waypoints, triggers, groups, and units. Okay, so we're going to select units, and we are going to spawn our cameraman. And our cameraman is going to be a civilian. Now let me show you two methods that two common methods that I've seen for making ARMA 2 movies as a camera. So right here we got a civilian, or a citizen, and if we hit preview, you'll notice that we have a very clear camera, and it's very nice. I can run around, all that good stuff. I can zoom in, zoom out. Whoops, didn't mean to press that. And I'm a civilian, and this is good in some senses, except for right there, as you saw. I don't know if you noticed, right there. My hands will come up every now and then, and it's a little shaky, although you can turn your head bomb down. What I would recommend this for is if you're in one of those scenes where it's like in the war movies where you're like, it's supposed to be like you're running with them in a certain battle, something like that, like you're in the heat of battle. That'd be effective. But other than that, I wouldn't really use it. So that's one method. Like I said, it's not as good as the camera script, in my opinion. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in the initialization, and don't worry, I'll put all these commands in the description so you can like copy and paste them in. I'm currently looking at a notepad document, so there's no way I can remember these off the top of my head at first. I recommend typing it as much as possible because that's kind of like taking notes. You can help yourself remember it. So we're going to type this exec open parens camera dot sqs close parents and a semicolon. So what this does is it means this. So it's like this guy right here, this civilian, executable, camera SQS. So it's basically telling this unit right here will execute the camera script. It's literally what it's saying. And this right here is like the period at the end of a sentence. So we got that all down. We're gonna get OK, and we're gonna hit preview. Awesome. We have ourselves a camera. Now you may be thinking, oh my gosh, there is a white crosshair in the middle of the screen, and how do I get rid of it? Well, what you want to do is press L, and it's gone. And some of you may be wondering, okay, how do we control this? Well, by default, the ARMA 2 camera script is bound to what it calls Bulldozer Controls. And I think by default, it is Q to go up, Z to go down, W, A, S, D, obviously, to move in those directions. You use the numpad to move to the side, although I'm using the mouse right now because I rebound it, which I'll show you in a minute how to do. And shift is to go faster in all directions. Oh, and one other thing, plus on your numpad is to zoom in, minus is to zoom out, if you want to go really far out. Okay, so what I would recommend doing, and unfortunately I do not have a controller with me at the moment, or it's not working. What I would do is have a controller for camera controls. That's the easiest. The analog sticks move a lot smoother than the mouse does, especially for camera movement. So go to game options. Oh, whoops, not game options. Controls. And under this little pull down bar, go ahead and select Bulldozer Controls. And I'm assuming you know how to rebind keys. There's also the controller option right here. That's how you access it. What I like to do is I kind of like to experiment. I use my mouse to turn around, like I'm using my mouse right now. But like I said, if you have a choice, I would highly, 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 highly recommend using a mouse. Highly. I mean, not a mouse, a controller. I just contradicted what I was trying to really emphasize. Leave it to Jackson. Okay. Abort. And now we are going to do something that is absolutely necessary in my case. As you may have noticed, when we went to that camera view, there was these awful letterboxes at the top and bottom of the screen. I don't like those. Some people may like those for cinematic purposes. I don't. I just hate them, to be honest with you. So to get rid of that, what I like to do, there are different methods to doing this. This is what really works out for me. Feel free to try any other method that you may find. We're going to create a trigger, and we're going to set it to true right here in the condition box. And activation is going to be by anybody. And we'll see if this works. I'm kind of experimenting here. If it doesn't, I could just revert to what I was doing when I was doing last time. So show cinema border false. We'll see if this works. Because basically what I'm trying to tell it to do is if this if this trigger exists, then execute this. We'll see if it works. So if it doesn't, then we'll do it the old way. Yep, it does. So that trigger basically makes it all nice and clean. You got your full monitor for your camera. It's all nice and perfect. That's really the gist of the camera. There really isn't much else to it. Really, it's just like any other cinematography, trying to find good angles and setting up your scene. So speaking of setting up your scene, a common difficulty that people may have is with kind of keeping up with the battle. ARMA 2, as you know, everything takes place in real time, and unfortunately for movie makers, that can make things quite difficult when it comes to trying to manage and figure out what's going on in the battlefield. So now we're going to enable slow motion, but first things first, we need to test slow motion by actually having like a variable, like in a science experiment. We need to actually have something to look upon. So we're going to have a short little skirmish right here between, I don't know, some British forces and some Germans. How about that? Obviously, you can switch that out with like the Pakistani militia or whatever. Okay, one other thing that I forgot to mention about your cameraman. I can't believe I didn't do this. We need to make him invisible so that he isn't seen. So you don't have this awkward civilian standing there. Because this camera script, that civilian's still there. It just detaches the camera from him. So we need to type this. Hide object true. And now, if we look, brace your ears. We don't have that guy. So as you can see, my British friends over here are hard at work trying to defeat Nazi Germany, or at least try to, and it's going alright, I guess. I mean, I don't really... They have one guy down over here. This guy's got shot up pretty bad. So, you kind of have to adapt with... Like, this would be a good shot right here. Although this guy isn't shooting anymore. Please shoot. Oh my gosh, he's right in my face. Oh, he's moving his mouth. Yep, that would be a good shot right there. Him getting shot. That's a good shot, him getting shot. I currently have my graphics on medium. That's why it's kind of real looking. I usually run it on high, but sometimes my computer right now is downloading ArcAge, and I want to have as much storage. I want to have good performance. I don't want this to be bogged down too much by that download. Okay, so you kind of get the idea of what to do in that situation. Just kind of record what you want to. What I like to do is kind of develop a storyboard. Like, let's say I want to have a scene where a machine gunner is firing upon a group. Well, you can have the group being shot up, and you can place like an MG nest right here and just record it firing. That's what I would do. It's very simple, but it's kind of amazing how complex it can get at the same time. It's just like a camera. The first time you pick up a camcorder, I remember I just filmed me walking throughout my own house. But then, you know, somebody else has a camcorder and is recording Lord of the Rings. It's just really amazing the potential that you can do. So, let's make slow motion to make this a little bit easier and maybe perhaps a little bit cooler. Of course, if you have a good editor and you're recording at above 60 frames per second, you could edit it to where it's slow motion. And that's, in fact, what I would recommend doing if you're trying to get a slow motion shot. But if you're trying to traverse from here to here without as much casualties, and to make it to where it's not as, it's easier to get from front line to front line without them killing each other so fast, that's when I'd use slow motion in-game. By default, you can accelerate time by hitting the equals key, or at least for me, it's bound to the equals key, and you can put it back down to normal by the minus key, but it does not let you go below the normal time, so we're going to have to actually script that in. So we're going to create a trigger, and this is what we're going to call a radio trigger. In fact, this is why this guy right here needs to be not a citizen, because you must have your unit must have a radio for this. So in fact, I can't believe I didn't think of this before. Sorry about that. You want your unit to be a soldier. This guy will do. He's a soldier. This exec camera dot sqs. This hide object true. And he is not going to be grouped. So to ungroup someone, just for future reference, if you don't already know, you can press F2, click and drag off. You see this line right here? Just drag off to somewhere, and as you can see, that it's gone. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a radio trigger. We're going to create two. One for, well, actually, we don't really need to create two. We only need to create one. So, activation, radio alpha. We don't need parameters because obviously it's going to be activated by radio, not by someone's presence. Okay, so we're going to put on activation, set acceleration time 0.1. And if this works right, we will have slow motion. So we're going to hit, oh, that's right. One thing you do have to remember, unfortunately, you cannot access the radio. You can't actually access the radio, unfortunately, when you are in camera mode. So what are we going to do here? It's radio alpha. And we are back. As you can see, we are in super slow motion. We can see ourselves, but they can't see us. And in fact, if we really wanted to, in slow motion, we could fire upon the Germans. If we can. Ooh, look at that. This would be a really cool scene if someone's being shot dramatically. But of course, you can do that in slow motion in your editor. That's how I do slow motion. To be honest with you, if you really want to capture this part, just put your cameraman over here. There are other scripts out there that tell you how to do accelerating time and de-accelerating time. Oh, one thing I didn't show you how to do was de-accelerate time, or accelerate time in this case. So you press any number on the keyboard. I usually press 2 to get, and I go to status. Oh, not status. Reply. Radio alpha. Now what you could do is spawn a civilian in and equip them with a radio. That's what I would do. I do not know the script off the top of my head. I will try and find that, and I'll put that link in the description for you to put in, because you do have to have a radio, obviously, for a radio activation. You could have a parameter. I just find radio easier because you can toggle it easier, obviously. They're getting shredded. This is a really sad scene, guys. Oh, so I don't even know what I'm singing. Some dramatic choir music is always what is played, or at least in cool movies they are. Okay, that's enough time. That's enough wasted time right there. Now for the fun part, kids. explosions. How are we going to do this? I will tell you. So first things first, we're going to make this guy camera again. This, oh god, this exec camera dot sqs, whoops, and boop. Okay, so he's a camera now. And what we're going to be creating here is essential if you want to do battle scenes that have explosions, obviously, because you need explosions. So, how are we going to do this? I will show you. We are going to use a combination of triggers and markers. I'm going to show you two methods of doing it. First things first, I'm gonna move this guy. We'll get rid of these guys. We don't really need them for this demonstration. Come on, highlight him. Okay. I'm going to show you two methods that I like to use. We're going to choose a flat open area. This beachhead will probably do pretty well. Okay. Trigger, F3. Okay, so we're in a trigger screen. We're going to put the activation to anybody. And we're going to put on activation, we're going to type bomb equals. Now what I'm typing in right here is the ID for a certain type of shell or bomb in the game. This is the one that I use. It's pretty big. It should satisfy you. Maybe a little bit unrealistic, perhaps, but it's good enough for me. It is satisfying. I definitely recommend. This is a highly recommend if you're going to make any type of movie in ARMA that has explosions, which I'm sure it will be, because I'm assuming that you'd be making a war movie. I'd highly recommend installing blast core effect visuals. They are excellent and they make explosions look less crappy. Okay. So what have I just typed here? Okay, so the bomb will equal this. Basically, it's creating an entity to explode. And this get marker position is telling it, okay, I'm going to find a marker with this name, and that's where I'm going to explode. So we're going to name that marker Explosion 1. Okay, so last time I recorded this, I was a fool and didn't listen to my own advice that I was giving to the audience. Explosion 1, this is the name of our marker right here. When we place the marker down, okay, we're going to place, so let's put us out of there so it doesn't explode immediately. So we're going to have a marker right here. Make sure it is word for word, space for space, capital for capital, lowercase for lowercase, the same thing as what you put in this trigger. Obviously, you can name this whatever you want. You can name it like cheese or something like that. I don't know. I'm hungry, I guess. So there we go. We got an explosion. Let's see if it works, because sometimes it refuses to. Well, crap. I think I know the reason to. Let's see if it works now, because I don't think it counts. Yep. Okay. So as you can see, we got an explosion right there. The reason it didn't work was because it doesn't count the camera as a unit that enters it. I had to actually use the base unit, the civilian, in there. So that's pretty cool, if you ask me. Now, in fact, I think we're going to make a little short scene out of this using all of our skills that we have learned. Then I'll give you some pointers. Then we'll end this horrifically long video. I know it's not too much. I think I went a little bit overboard by saying how to make a full Arma 2 machinima. This is really more how to make filmmaking tips. I know that sounds a little less. It is a little bit less, and it's more of an honest title. So, okay, abort. So what you may want to do is make this a little bit let's see here. We'll set this back. Make this a little bit smaller. Maybe 10. 10. That's about good, because that's about big enough for one person. Okay. So let me show you what I'm going to make. And keep in mind, as with filming in all of ARMA 2, and filming in general, trial and error is always to be kept in mind, because everybody learns something new, especially me. So first things first, let's place some machine guns down. So we are going to have some MG42s, because they actually aren't going to shred them up, because we're not going to allow them to get damaged, because I don't want them to die. I want it to kind of be a continuous battle. MG42 nest, that'll do. In initialization, we're going to put this allow damage, damage false. We're going to put, yep. Okay. So now, if we were to put down a blue 4 playable person, let's see, preview. We're going to go to the rifleman. Oh. Is he dead? What happened? I think this was a bad spot. Okay. Let's change this guy to the player real quick, so we can kind of investigate what's happening. Maybe it's the position he's at. Dang it. So let's see if we can actually kill him. Back. Yes. Playable. Okay. Continue. Player. Okay. Preview. T. Switch. Okay. So let's see if we can actually kill him. Huh. We can. Very strange. Let's try it one more time. Okay, well, I don't know what's going on. Maybe y'all can tell me. Maybe I typed it wrong. But it is not working. But that doesn't matter. It's fine with me if they kill each other. It's not that big of a deal now that I think about it. So we're going to copy and paste. 1, 2, 3, 4. Should that be good enough? I think so. And we're going to have our thing right here. And right here, we're going to have explosions all over. So what I like to do is I like to place down the markers first. The markers is essentially the site where the explosions are going to happen. So we're going to have explode, oh, dang it, not in caps, explosion 2. What you can do is you can just paste them. Explosion 3. explosion 4. Okay, so we have 6 explosion spots. Now we actually have to have triggers to be activated. So copy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this one is going to fill in for explosion 2. And I'll fast forward right here. Okay, so now we have all of our explosions. Now we just need people to activate them. So we're going to have 2 groups. 2 groups. And I'm going to be doing a lot of fast forwarding in this video. Basically, what I'm going to be doing, or actually, no, I think I'll do it this way. There may be a better way to do this. Basically, I'm going to put down a platoon, a platoon, and I'm going to go to units. Actually, I'm not going to make them that way. That's just stupid. I've already tried it to where I made it disallow damage false, and it didn't work. But you kind of get the idea. I do want some casualties now that I think about it. So, waypoint. And we're going to have them move, speed, full, behavior, careless. Let's see if that works. Where are they even at? Okay, they're not running because they're fatties. So we're going to change that. We'll see if they run now. Run, little piggies. Actually, we should probably put them close. Preview. Here we go. That's the good stuff. Oh, we're all dead. That's pretty funny. Dang it, cancel. Immediately, everybody's wiped out. That's pretty funny. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight these guys, hold down control, to like copy more stuff. We're going to click that. We're going to paste. Uh-oh, that's not what I wanted. Delete. Delete. We didn't even copy it. Control. Click. Copy. Paste. Except we want to move it down to where they're over there. Okay. Okay, so now we got some more people. You can actually copy and paste waypoints, which is awesome. We're going to be up here, though. We're going to be facing that way. Preview. Oh, see, oh. Are you gonna open fire? They may not even get there before they can. Let's zoom in dramatically. Holy cow, that's pretty cool looking. That is really cool. I like that. Okay. We're going to experiment a little bit more. The tutorial part's really over. I'm just kind of showing you some ideas. I do have some suggestions, though. If you do make an Invasion 1944 machinima, What I would really love is something from the perspective of the Germans. I thought about doing that, and I may even do that still. I think that'd be pretty cool. Although I don't have a German accent, and I would have to really brush up on my history, because I wouldn't want to make a mistake that can be considered, offensive or something like that. Okay. So, let's make things a little bit more fun. First things first. We're going to have invisible cannons, guys. The party is really beginning. Actually, no. We're going to have tanks. Op 4. Armor. Copy. Paste. 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 Oh, we could just do tank platoons. Didn't think about that. Whoopsies, didn't mean to do that. Vehicles. Tank platoon. Yeah, that's good. Copy. Paste, paste, paste. Let the fun begin, and let the frame rate fall. Holy cow, this is cool. Awesome. 11 frames per second, everybody. Yep, I do recommend having a great computer for scenes like this. This is just awesome. Especially like going slow. Seeing your crewmates. Seeing, oh my gosh, it's a perfectly timed explosion. This is cool! Okay guys, I hope that helped you. If you have any questions, I would be happy to try and answer them to the best of my ability in the comments. I hope this was at least a little bit better than the last video. A little bit oh my gosh, a little bit more helpful. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to Knight's Kingdom. I am Sir Awesome, and I will see you later. This is really cool. I might do a little montage in a minute. I'll have to save this. Goodbye, guys.